It's the middle slash almost late October. And I've been stressed, I've been busy, but I want to film something. And so I'm going to film a bit of a weekend reading vlog. I'm not really reading anything right now. I started reading Emergent Strategy by Adrienne Maree Brown and enjoyed it, and then made the decision that I wanted to read Parable of the Sower before continuing with it. I haven't started Parable of the Sower, and I don't think that's what I want to read right now. I also started reading Bel Canto by Ann Patchett, right? Is that who? Maybe by Ann Patchett. And it was good, and then just life happened, and so I put it down. And I don't think that's what I want to re-pick back up. I think what I want to do, since it is fall and it is spooky season, I have Mr. Moo. I have my roommate's cat. I have We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. And I think I should just read that. I was going to say maybe I should read The Waves by Virginia Woolf because I feel like I'm going to like it, but I don't know if my brain is in the right headspace for some modern literature. So We've Always Lived in the Castle. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm currently having hot chocolate in this beautiful penguin mug that is my roommate's, and I've eaten all of my marshmallows, and I think I'm going to add more marshmallows to it because I can do that. So yes, We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. Because it's the only spooky book I have, and I feel like I should try to read something spooky. Because last year I participated in the Fortnite Frights readathon and ended up reading some slightly scarier books. I don't even know if they're scary, but like spookier, macabre books, like Her Body and Other Parties, and White is for Witching, and some other things. And I enjoyed it. I had a good time. So, yes, that's my plan. It is Saturday. It's about noon. I've already eaten lunch. Very good time. Now I'm just telling stories. I went and tried to find a Sherlock Holmes style hat, or like some Victorian style hat, because I'm being Sherlock Holmes for my school's costume day, and I did not succeed, but I did find two things. I found these Sherlock Holmes socks. They have little pipes on them, and the man himself, the character himself. And then I made a decision because I saw this pink dress that I don't know if I'll ever, like, when I will wear this, but it's like long and pink and has this shawl. I'll just put it on right now. It clearly goes with what I'm wearing. But it has a shawl, you know, like so. And I couldn't leave it there. So maybe I'll wear this. Maybe I'll find a time to wear this, like on Halloween itself. Sir. Oh, the scariest, the most vicious. Hello. I've changed locations. So I'm now reading on the couch. I'm only a little over a chapter through. And there's this interesting, like, we're getting an introduction into Mary Catherine and who she is as a narrator. And just, like, the grimness of the book and her and the situation. Right now, we just know that she, her sister, and her uncle are the only people living of her family, and that 6 years ago, the rest of her family died because poisoning was involved. That's all we know from, like, the pages. And so we're getting Mary Catherine as she's going into the village and, like, really not necessarily overthinking, but having this plan and this knowledge of what it means to go into the village as someone who's, like, hated. And we don't necessarily know why she and her sister are hated so much. I mean, we can make some guesses, but it's, like, I don't know, too soon to tell why there is such a strong feeling towards them. But so she's going in and she has this plan, and she's like, here's how I get through this. Like, I have to go get groceries, and if I do this, here's what's gonna happen, and if I go this way, here's what's gonna happen, and if I go here, here's what I do. And also the grimness of, like, her thoughts towards these villagers who are, I don't know why I'm calling them, like, villagers, like townspeople, who are just, like, saying awful things. And so she's thinking awful things. And it's interesting. So, as you will have been able to see, Eleanor and Mr. Moo were both on the cat tree at one point. Or Mr. Moo was trying to get on there. And I was thinking it was going to be cute, and maybe they were going to start playing, but now she's going over there, and Mr. Moo is there. So... I am approaching the halfway mark of We Have Always Lived in the Castle. I think when I get into a bit of a reading slump, the hardest thing for me is to get past the first, like, 4 or 5 pages of a book and actually get into, like, a rhythm of reading it. So I finally got into the rhythm of reading this. And I'm, like, really curious about Mary Catherine and what's, like, not what's going on with her, but she's very superstitious, and, like, I'm curious about her superstitions and then the way she interacts with people and the way that she interacts with the world, and the little bit of information that we've gotten about the incident of the poisoning and Mary Catherine as a child. So I'm really curious about her, and I'm curious about Constance and how, like, Constance feels very flat right now. Mary Catherine, I mean, she is our narrator, so she feels a little bit more fully formed. She feels like she like, there are parts of her that are conflicting, and so she is this, like, fully formed character. Whereas with Constance, it's just, like, Constance has a garden. Constance cooks all the food. Constance has been blamed for the murder of her whole family. But she is a character, and her personality and everything, I don't know anything about. Like, and I think that's intentional. Like, right now, it's just, like, who is Constance? And maybe part of that is because we're seeing her from Mary Catherine's perspective, and Mary Catherine definitely, I don't know, idolizes her a bit. So, yeah, I'm curious. I want to keep making some good headway on this. Get maybe 2/3 of the way through. Hopefully, one of the cats will come cuddle with me. I think it might be Eleanor, but we will see. Eleanor is just snuggling up there while I read. I have invited her to join me, but she seems to be pretty content where she is. I also made some popcorn to snack on. So I'm more than halfway through now. And yeah, I think the main, like, I'm still curious about Constance, but I'm also like, Mary Catherine, ? She is supposed to be 18, and, like, is just this very, I don't want to say strange, but, like, I don't know. It's, like, I am not getting, like, she doesn't read as an 18-year-old, or as, like, a typical 18-year-old. So there's also just, like, considering that she's essentially spent the last 6 years alone, only interacting with her sister and her uncle, except for when she goes to the village. And then whenever she's there, she's, like, essentially being harassed by people. And then there's, like, the really traumatic event that happened to her. So I don't know if that's ever going to be, like, acknowledged. I don't believe that we are supposed to read her as like a typical 18-year-old. Clearly this is not a typical situation. But yeah, also, okay, we have someone who has come to visit, and it's very upsetting. Good morning. It is Sunday. I'm currently trying to figure out whether to go to the grocery store now when there will be less people there. Oh, my cat hears me talking. Or go later when I have slightly more energy. And I don't know. I truly don't know. Hi. Hi. Oh. The cats were being wild last night. Specifically, Mr. Moo kept getting into things. And was just being so mischievous. So I think the last, like, 3 hours that I was asleep, I periodically had to wake up and be like, what are you doing? What is going on? He kept trying to step on my head. So there's that. And then there's this one who just wants all of the attention all of the time. So I think I can finish this today. I have about 60 pages left. I just want to know what happens. I love her so much. Like, I can't even with the cuteness. Adorable. How do I say no to that face? So, I ended up watching the movie of We Have Always Lived in a Castle because I finished it earlier today. And I watched it while my roommate was painting her Lightning McQueen Halloween costume. And the movie definitely took some creative liberties, added some stuff in. But yeah, was fine. The book is it's like spooky and like it's stuff is going on. Strange happenings, but it's definitely not like scary. I wouldn't say it's very thrilling. But it was good to read. It's definitely a great example of an unreliable narrator, and yeah. So thank you so much for joining me for this vlog. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you. Oh no! I will see you in another video. Bye.